What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the Uverse? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that fun stuff. Today we're going to be talking about the build so far, the first 9 months of the build of the beautiful SnowFlake that we are currently sitting in. And I'm sitting in because there's a bit of wind outside and it's difficult to record. I've tried to record this a few times and just way too much wind noise. So we're going to do it again. But this time we're going to shoot the intro inside and the synopsis and all of that fun stuff inside, out of the wind, and then we'll go outside when we need to. Hope you understand. But when I bought SnowFlake, I bought SnowFlake with a vision in mind. And that vision was get her up so that she's capable of driving to, doing trails, and driving home 95% of the trails in the United States. So that includes the Rubicon Trail, most of the trails in Moab, going out to S'more and doing most of the trails out in S'more, going down and doing a couple of the parks down in Texas, maybe heading out to the East Coast and Pennsylvania and Midwest and all of that, and knocking out those trails and driving her home and being comfortable doing so. So a lot of the reasons and a lot of the parts that I put onto SnowFlake were for that very reason. They were with that vision in mind. And we'll get into that as we start getting into all the different parts and stuff that we did. So I'm going to go through and talk about some of the upgrades that I did to the suspension and the wheels and tires. We'll move into the drivetrain, meaning engine and exhaust, and we haven't done any other real upgrades yet to the rest of the drivetrain. Fortunately, we haven't had to. Budget has also come into a lot of the decisions that were made as to what we can do and what we can't do. And I've also looked at the modularity of certain components that I've bought, meaning that while I can only afford to buy X now, Y is down the line and it'll add right into that. And we'll cover those thoughts and processes as we get into the video as well. First and foremost, let's go outside and talk about the suspension. So let's talk about suspension, and this ties into your vision, where you want to go. Initially, I wanted to end up on 37-inch tires, which on the new JL platform, which is what SnowFlake is, really you only need, with the Rubicon, a 2-inch lift. 2-inch lift clears 37-inch tires just fine without a lot of rubbing. But remember this modularity and the vision of the future for this platform. I knew I wanted to end up eventually with long arms and also on 38s, maybe even 40s, possibly go up to a 3.5 or a 4.5-inch lift. So I was looking around for a suspension system that would accomplish that, that would accommodate that modularity. And that's one of the primary reasons why we went with the TerraFlex system. So on here is the TerraFlex ST3. If you guys haven't seen it, go ahead, check up in the corner and click on the I button, and I've got the install for the front and for the rear suspension lift kit. It's really a suspension system. The install videos will be up there in the top left, and I'm actually very, very happy with the suspension system that we went with. If you go with the TerraFlex ST3 with the Falcon shocks, either the 3.1s, the 3.3s, or the 3.5s, you get the longer Falcon shocks. You get the shocks that are actually built for the 3 to 6-inch suspension lift systems. If you buy the 2-inch ST2s with the Falcon shocks, you get the Falcon shocks that are rated for 0 to 3 inches of suspension lift. So that's one of the primary reasons why I went with the 3-inch. So I can start at the bottom end of that range and I can work my way on up, and my shocks will carry over. All I got to do is swap out springs, swap out control arms, and I'm good to go. So we went with this system. I'm extremely happy. If you guys haven't seen it, Trail Recon recently did a 6-system roundup on 6 brand new, identically spec'd out Jeep Rubicons, and he did a evaluation of on-road characteristics, off-road characteristics, installees, and all of that stuff. The TerraFlex was his favorite. It's all subjective, just like my opinion is completely subjective, but I think the TerraFlex is a phenomenal system. It was very easy to install. It took Steve and I about 8 to 10 hours in his driveway. No lifts, no real special tools, and we just slapped it in. So definitely a good system. We then moved up to the 37-inch tires. I went with the Milestar Patagonias based on reviews about on-road noise and also off-road capability. And I gotta say, I've been impressed with both. I know it's also a budget, it's a budget system, and the way that they've cut their tires, they're not a flat tread, they're a rounded tread. So it takes a little bit of adapting to. And I know some people don't like the Patagonias because they have different wear characteristics to them, but I've been extremely happy with them. I like the compound. They're quiet on the road. They grip well off-road. Air them down to 12, 13 PSI, and they grip all kinds of rocks, and this thing's just a mountain goat with the Patagonia MT 37-inch tires. We went with the Icon Vehicle Dynamics. These are the Alpha Titaniums. Really happy with these wheels. Reason why I went with these was for weight considerations, trying to ease the stresses that are going to be occurring to the axle. They are not a beadlock design. In hindsight, it's one of the things that I kind of wish I just bit the bullet initially and bought a beadlock. But they've been good so far, and so far I haven't needed beadlocks, and I've knocked out the full Colorado 6-pack. So haven't struggled on any of the trails. Been a couple questionable areas at Holy Cross, but everybody struggles in places at Holy Cross. But I made it through, and here comes some bikes, so a little loud. Now, next thing I did so that's suspension and tires and the reasonings behind that. Next thing we did was we upgraded the bumpers. So I went with the Moto-built bumpers, front and rear, and I did the rear just so that it would match the front, honestly. And they were, they had a package deal, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, it was like 6-7 months ago. But I bought the Moto-built front because it has the winch plate down in between the frame rails. So you drop the winch down below, inside the bumper, and then, you know, in Colorado, where we would require a front license plate, I had to do this Fishbone Off-Road, I think is who made this. It's been a really good little system. So, but you can see I don't have any provisions for a front mounted license plate without going aftermarket to another company. But I'm very happy with these bumpers. Nice solid steel, extremely well built, and I wish I would have measured before I drilled the first hole. Drilled a hole to mount my fog lights up here and realized that's right in the center of the frame rail. So you know, measure a couple times, drill once. Don't do what I did. Next thing that I recommended doing, and what I did, was we put on skid plate system, and the skid plate system we put in is from Rough Country. And I know that's not a brand that most people really care for, but the Rough Country skid plate system, so this is the engine skid, and then you get the transfer case skid. Buying these two together, it was like 400 bucks, whereas a lot of the other high-end name brand skid systems are 400 bucks per piece. And what I liked about this system is it's modular. You can see it's got the tabs built in right here. You can then buy a fuel tank skid, and you can add that on, and that's just another couple $100. So down the road I'll probably end up doing something like that, so we can get a total skid system that's all nice thick steel and well supported for $600-700, as opposed to $1,000 to $1,200. Definitely money comes into it, definitely does. Did not do an install video on that, I apologize, but we will put links down below for you guys, and they will be Amazon affiliate links. So it doesn't cost you any more, but a little bit of Jeff Bezos's dime comes to me and helps out the channel. The other skids that we did are the Rancho differential skids. Did do an install video on that, so again, check the eye up in the corner and I'll post a link to those. Front and rear, we've got the skids, and as you can see, there's a lot of scrapes and scratches on them. So definitely something that's needed if you're going to be going off-road and beating it up a lot. While we're down here, we'll also talk about the major weight reduction that we did, and making this thing sound like a Ferrari, as some people that ride in my Jeep in SnowFlake have called it. They're in awe of K&N and how they have tuned the exhaust. So yeah, we did a K&N 3.5-inch stainless steel exhaust system, and it is just a cat back, but oh my god, does this thing sound good. And again, check the eye, there's a video up there for the install and the sound test. I absolutely love that exhaust. It's one of my favorite mods that I've done. So that'll take us in, oh, dropped the phone. So that wraps up skids and exterior and exhaust. Then we move into engine mods. Done 2 drivetrain mods to SnowFlake so far. And those would be, put in a K&N air filter, and then we also did a oil catch can. Again, I'll put links down below, and the install video for the oil catch can will be coming. Looks like we got a slight rub on the top of it. I'm not seeing any marks up here. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that was a very simple install with the kit that I purchased. Definitely highly recommended. Awesome kit. And anytime you're looking at a lot of descents or very steep ascents, you're going to be moving oil out of the crankcase and up into the intake of your motor. Catch can helps catch that, so you're not burning it and fouling your plugs, fouling injectors, all that fun stuff. Helps protect the internals of the motor. Let's see, other mod that I did. These are the factory Ruby rails, and we added a 2x2 square 2x2 square steel tubing, basically, and then we doubled it up back here with a cut to kick out any rocks away from the back tire, so we don't just, you know, slam into the rear tire. This is a design that Stevie actually came up with, and I absolutely love it. We also reinforced underneath. We added 3 body mounts. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 up here, and those go to the body mount posts just to increase rigidity of the rails, since we're also adding a little bit of a pivot point and pushing it out a little bit. Yeah, those have actually already been tested, and I can testify they work. They definitely work. Some of the other mods that we did, moving into the back of the Jeep. Added a tailgate table. Definitely like that, with the mole rails on it and a few bags, so that we can have Some tools and stuff in here. Most of our tire stuff's in there, and a first aid kit, and then the toolkit that comes with the Jeep is in there. It's very handy, very nice to have. Added a fire extinguisher onto the back. Inexpensive and definitely recommended. You don't want to start a forest fire if you can afford it. If you can avoid it, not afford it. Then of course we've got the toolkit, we've got toys, we've got some other tools, we've got a full recovery kit, and we've got our air up and air down solution, which a video will be coming on this. I know this looks kind of confusing, but it's pretty freaking awesome. It really is very cool. So look for a video coming on that system. 4-way up, 4-way down. It's gonna, that was backwards. 4-way air down, all 4 tires at once, all 4 tires at once airing up. It's a pretty cool system, and it's homemade. Cost a little bit of money, but I think it's definitely worth it. I think it's a better system than the JT Brooks Pro or some of the Rapid deflators. Any of the other systems that I've seen, even my lovely Stons that I've absolutely loved. I like this system better, and we built it ourselves, so I really like it. But yeah, look for that video coming. Let's see, what else do we do? Let those motorcycles pull out. LOD license plate, because I don't like having the license. Well, I couldn't do it with this bumper. There's no license plate mount on the Moto built bumper, so we had to move the license plate up to the spare tire. Really like the LOD system because it uses the factory third brake light, moves it from above the tire to down inside, and it's a really nice clean solution. License plate lights and all that stuff. I didn't film that because honestly it was a bit of a pain in the butt to film, but we wired the license plate lights down to the running light on the tail, and there are lots of videos out there on YouTube on how to do that and how to accomplish it. So last mod is adding high lift jack up on the top, up on the hood. Definitely like having it up there. You got to be careful with how you mount your high lift jack, because if you mount it incorrectly, your windshield wipers, your washer fluid will just hit the high lift jack and not hit your windshield, and that kind of sucks. So found out that you've got to put the foot over here on the passenger side and have the claw lifting arm forward. Now, then we get into aesthetics. And mounted up here on top of my fuse box, completely coated in, what did I coat this in? I think it was like a silicone epoxy, just to waterproof it. But this is my rock light controller. Ties down here to the auxiliary switches wiring, and then I've got rock lights mounted here. Mounted right there. Oh, sorry, right there. And also back here on the back corner. So those are my rock lights, and the reason why I positioned them where I did is I wanted maximum visibility of the tires. So the way this one works is it actually shines down here so I can see what's behind my tire if I'm backing up. Well, at least a spotter can. I can't, obviously, from inside the Jeep. Same thing with the center mount. It has a nice wide pattern. And then this one up here is angled to hit directly in front of my front tire, so my spotter can, at night, spot me better, spot rocks and obstructions and sticks and stuff, and get me around an obstacle. But those rock lights are from Infinite Off-Road, phenomenal lights. A little bit spendy, but they're RGBWs, so not only can you do any color in the spectrum and you can make them dance to music and all of the fun stuff, but they also have a pure white LED, which is what I use most of the time, just to aid maximum visibility out on the rocks. So anyway, that's a wrap up of all of the mods that I have done so far. Let's go inside and we'll talk about the future. Out of the wind. Okay, so now that we've wrapped up everything that I've done already to SnowFlake and her current build after 9 months, she's extremely capable now, and honestly, I'm gonna wheel her the way she is for the better part of a year, I think. I'm thinking next summer, next fall might be the time that I start looking at doing long arms. I just want to see, I want to hit the Rubicon Trail next year. Definitely want to hit Moab a couple times, and I want to go back down to Ouray and explore down in Ouray. We're going to hit S'more out in Missouri, and I'd like to hit at least one of the trail systems in Texas and see how she performs. I'm extremely happy with the way the JL has a mid-arm setup. It's not a short-arm suspension. It's not a long-arm suspension. It's a mid-arm. But I'm very happy with the articulation and the way she performs both on-road and off-road is the bomb. But I'm thinking, knowing me, because I'm a bit of an idiot like this, I will end up on long arms. And TerraFlex makes a phenomenal long arm kit system that basically turns my 3.5-inch lift into a 4.5-inch lift. And when I do that, I'll go to beadlock wheels, probably 38s, if not 40s. But I'll probably go to 38s just to add a little bit of weight down low. But again, that'll all be determined based on how she performs on the escalator, on Hell's Gate, and on where Eagles Dare, and obviously on the Rubicon Trail. I think those will be the big 4 tests for where I go in the future. Because watching videos and talking to people that have done all of those trails, that's the kind of rock crawling jeeping that that appeals to me, that I want SnowFlake to be 100% capable of, while at the same time being very comfortable to drive there and drive home. And if we're not wheeling, I want her to be able to drive to California towing a trailer with Empress and Olga on her, and Stevie and I go out there, spend out in California again every year. Sorry, if you guys don't know, we go to California, try to go to California every year during the summer, and from this point forward, we'd like to spend a couple days jeeping, hitting some of the trails around Borrega Springs and up around Big Bear. So if we can do that, and then the rest of the time out there be riding our bikes, and again, be comfortable doing it, and then tow the tow the bikes out there and tow the bikes back, that's what I want SnowFlake to be capable of doing. So that's kind of the vision. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this quick little synopsis. Definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More builds on SnowFlake will be coming. I apologize to all my motorcycle enthusiasts that are subscribers. I know I've been neglecting you. I've been distracted this year. I've gotten out and ridden. I just haven't recorded it. And most of the time that I've been recording, it's been in SnowFlake. You know, she's the new shiny toy. So next year it'll be both, and we'll get back to it. We'll definitely get some more rides. And as long as everything opens up again and I can start doing group rides. I really miss doing the group rides with the Canyon Riders Association of Colorado and with some of my other buddies on too. But until the next time, guys, keep that shiny side up. You know I love each and every one of you guys. I will see you out in the canyons or up on the trails. Peace.